Welcome, everyone. My name is Chris Jordan, the CEO, founder of CLJ Advisory. And in the next 30 minutes, I'm going to give you 12 keys on how to help you develop successful CPA and attorney partnerships. So, just really excited about this content. Now, first off, I just wanted to you stay. I want to make sure that you stay on to the end because actually, in the 12th key, I'm going to give you a really cool video you're going to get a chance to see to bring that 12th and final point home. So I'm really excited about that. So make sure you hang through. Make sure you get all 12 keys. All right. Now, also during this webinar, I just encourage you to just give your best attention. Give your undivided attention. We're only going to be on for about 30 minutes, so it's going to be relatively quick. So if you want to get rid of Facebook and checking email or other phone calls, watching the stock market, because I don't want you to miss any of these keys. In fact, I invite you to take notes during this presentation because I'm going to go through these keys relatively fast. All right, so I definitely can you do that for me? Now, also, we're going to be, some of you may ask, why are you qualified to speak? Why can Chris Jordan speak on this topic, right? Because I wasn't a financial advisor, and I'm not. I don't work for a broker dealer or anything like that. But I'll tell you. So I've been working with financial advice professionals for about over 24 years now, and in that time I saw like the top advisors that we came across probably about 10 years ago. I started to notice this. The top advisors, they partnered really, really well with CPAs and attorneys, but most did not. All right. So I started literally just kind of find out what they were doing. And literally started sharing that information with the other 95% of the advisors that I was working with, right? All over the Southeast. All right. But at the same time, so it gave me good perspective, but at the same time, I worked for a couple of companies where I was a wholesaler selling hedge fund products, mutual fund products, annuity products, all types of different products. But the last two companies I worked for, I had to build a territory from scratch, like literally zero sales when we moved to North Carolina. And so starting from zero, I had to actually build something. And corporate and management, they're like, all right, where are let's get some sales. So I had to learn quickly how to develop relationships, also develop clients, and be effective, build rapport very quickly, right? So I'd say the fact that we have a perspective of some of the top advisors, really all over the country, and kind of what they do, what they did to work with CPAs and attorneys, and then also the fact that we know how to build networks relatively quick. That enables us at CLJ to be able to train and teach how to build a network rapidly. And I think that's probably the main differentiator with our company and others is that we help financial advice professionals build these networks of CPAs and attorneys and centers of influence faster and better than I'd probably say any other coach in the country. All right. So, that's kind of, I'd say why, and I'll get into some other reasons as well. But I really want you to just take a moment and really imagine what it would look like if you actually had 12 relationships, like 12
Ooh,
CPA relationships, right? CPA or attorney relationships. What would that look like? Imagine that they were like referring, you got one new high net worth client every single month, right? What would that look like? All right. I want you to start to imagine referrals coming consistently, right? Like, would that help your business? Like, I want you to think about what that would do to your business. All right. So just as we go through these keys, I want you to just kind of start to think about, man, if these keys were successful, I can apply them and succeed here. What would that look like? All right. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, and then we'll get rolling. All right. Hopefully everyone can see that. Okay.
Mm.
All right. So today I'm going to talk about the 12 keys. I'm going to give those to you. I'm going to talk about some of the false beliefs. And then I'm going to show you an idea on how to implement. All right. But first thing, I want to kind of get into like the main point of the day is that COI referrals are the number one best way to attract high net worth clients and grow your business, hands down. All right. And if there's only one thing that you get from today's talk, is this. All right. Now, let's get it. Let's dive into it. All right. So the first key, number one, it's less about what you think or about what you do, but more how you think. All right. Now, the false belief around this is that, it takes a lot of time to, get a referral from a COI, develop a relationship. All right. And I can remember I just kind of think back in when, again, I was tasked to grow sales and build a territory, how quickly I was able to build rapport and actually get sales even after the first meeting. Right. And then once we started training years ago, I remember a financial advisor one time in Merrill Lynch, in Chicago, literally was introduced by a friend of his. He had a friend who was an attorney, injury attorney. He gets introduced to an estate attorney and meets the estate attorney for the first time. And in that meeting, at the end of the meeting, the new attorney gave him a referral, says, I think you need to talk to this person, and literally gave the referral right at the first meeting. So I'd say it's less about the things that you do. It's really more about how you think. All right. So if you think that it's going to take a long time, if you think it's going to take, a year or 2 years or whatever, you've been told, then you're probably right. But if you think that you can actually build relationships quickly because you've got the skills, then I think you'll see a difference. Just really just think about number one. It's more about what you think. All right. So also number two, embrace the client first attitude. This is important, right? Because why? Because CPAs and attorneys, they can smell it, like they can sense it when you are approaching them, when you're in the meeting. And why are they able to do this? Well, because right now there are CPAs and attorneys, mostly CPAs, I would say, that are getting called by financial advisors, asking them to go meet with them for lunch, or how can I meet you? Can we look up, can we partner? And they're even knocking on their door. They're walking to their office. I mean, their phone is ringing constantly. And they know that you all look like salespeople. Financial advisors resemble salespeople, even if you don't call yourself that, right? But they want to be aware that a financial advisor has a client first attitude. Are they concerned with my clients' well-being and theirs? All right. So you want to embrace this attitude. All right. Number three, say no to prospect, yes to partnership.
No problem.
Say no to prospecting and yes to partnership. What does that mean? That means that you don't want to go out there and look for prospects and hunt. You don't want to be hunting for CPAs or attorneys. You want to be looking for partners. Again, this is a mindset shift, how you think. So instead of getting your list of 30,000 CPAs in your area and just go take your spear and try to hit people, you actually can say, look, I'm trying to find about a dozen good partners, maybe about 5 or 6 good CPAs, 5 or 6 good attorneys of different niches. And I'm looking for good partners that we can serve our clients well. All right. So that's key number three. Key number four, always look to develop professional trust. Now, this may be one of probably the most important or significant keys in here, because this handles the false belief that if I give referrals, I will get them. If I give referrals, I'm going to get them in return. How many of you have thought that? In fact, go ahead and throw that in the chat. If you thought that, just throw your hand up, or maybe put how many referrals you've given without any in return. Don't be shy if you want to if you want to share that information. But nonetheless, I remember working with a a financial advisor in North Carolina, Fayetteville, North Carolina. And he said, "Hey, Chris, I've known this CPA for over 20 years. I've given him so many referrals, but I have not gotten any in return." Right. And then I remember months later, I was talking to a CPA and I asked the CPA about that. I said, I'm sorry about sorry about that. So I met with the CPA and the CPA said, this is what the CPA said. He said, it doesn't matter how many financial referrals that a financial advisor sends me. He said, I'm not going to give them a referral unless I know them, like them, and trust them. And specifically, they have to trust them on a professional level. So it didn't matter that this advisor in Fayetteville, North Carolina, it didn't matter that he gave them like, five, 15, 20 different referrals in over 20 years. What mattered, it did his friend, actually did his the person that he went to school with, the CPA, a friend of his, did they trust him as a professional? And that's what you want to always be looking to develop. How can I develop professional trust with these individuals? All right, that's key number 4. All right. Now, number 5, take time to identify your value. This is so crucial, right? Like, what is the value that you bring to financial advice professionals? What do you do? How are you different from others? Right? Take some time, and we go over this a lot in our training and our all of our content, our courses. But understand how good you are. Right? There's only one you. Right? There's thousands and hundreds of thousands of people that help clients with their finances in America, but there's only one you. Take time to identify that. All right. And then once you identify it, learn to effectively communicate it. All right. So you know how good you are, but do CPAs know that? Or in fact, the last time you spoke to a CPA, what did you say? What do you think you communicated? Like if I the last meeting that you had, I talked to that CPA about you. What would that CPA say about you? Are you scatterbrained? Are you kind of like all over, hair on fire? Are you just kind of talking about your real estate deal that you have to, help them make money and share revenue and all that stuff? Or are you effectively communicating your value to them? All right. That's what you want to do. That's key number 6. Now, key number 7, increase the number of COI meetings. All right. Now, and there's a lot of ways you can do that. And again, but this handles the false belief that, I can't manage that many relationships. All right. We've heard that so many times. I'll tell you, I remember talking to a financial advisor in actually down in Pinehurst. And I said, "Yeah, how many accountants have you received referrals from?" You know what his answer was? He said over 100. I said, "Wow." Right. Now, again, granted, he's been in the business for, quite a while, but referrals from over 100 different accountants in his career. Then I'm talking to another financial advisor up in with Equitable in the Boston area. How many referrals have you gotten from, or how many different CPAs have referred you clients? I said, I don't know, Chris, like at least 25, 30 or more. And then I remember having lunch. I'm in Raleigh, having lunch with a CPA, and we're just talking. Again, I meet these people so I can get insider secrets and share with you all. Right, that's part of my secret. So I'm having lunch with the CPA, and he's telling me, or I asked the question, how many financial advisors do you work with, like get referrals from and kind of partner with? Guess what he told me? Take a guess. I wonder if I should ask y'all to put that in the chat to kind of drum roll, please. No, he said 40. So financial advisor number 1 over 100, number 2 over 30, CPA 40. Then I go meet with this other advisor. He says, oh, I don't have time. I can't really manage a lot of relationships. So if they can do that with those numbers, can't you manage five or six or maybe even 10 or 12? Right? I would think about it like how many clients do you have? Think about it from that standpoint as well. All right. So increase the number of meetings. Could you have one Zoom meeting with a new CPA every month? Could you take 30 minutes like this and meet a CPA every month or have a meeting? And in that meeting, again, we teach how to build rapport, develop trust quickly, right? That's kind of what that we need to know. But if you have 12 to 15 meetings a year, those couldn't those be 12 to 15 relationships, right? Couldn't that happen? So that's number seven, increase the number of meetings. Key number eight, prepare clients for an introduction. All right. Now I can't get into this a whole lot, but you got your best introduction sitting right across from you, right? In terms of the clients, right? You can easily work with clients to get introductions, but also prepare yourself, by the way, while we're on the word of prepare yourself for these meetings. All right. And there's a lot of things that you can do as well. Key number nine, they must see you in action. They must see you working. Again, you know how good you are. You're very educated and you're skilled, but have they seen you at work? Have they seen you at work? All right. Key number 10, communication is vital. Now, this handles there's a false belief out there as well that CPAs and attorneys, they don't want to collaborate, right? So you had experiences, they don't give referrals or they don't even want to talk to you, but it really comes down to they don't really want to collaborate with you. All right. Many of your colleagues have this belief all over the country. So I kind of thought the same thing initially when I was hearing so much feedback from you all. So I decided to have lunch with a financial advisor, actually, and a CPA in Durham. Some of y'all that live in North Carolina, you know, but I had lunch with a CPA, and the CPA said, you know, Chris, if a financial advisor, and this is a few years ago, if they were to get me cost basis for my clients on in a password protected Excel file or something like that, you know what? They would be my best friend. And after she told me that, that's when I started to hear even more and more for CPAs. Yeah, I'd love to communicate. I'd love to meet the financial advisor. I met a state attorney in our COI referral training course that some of you all have. You heard what he said about I love to meet with the financial advisor, and the state attorney said that. All right, they do want to collaborate. So communication is vital. And key number 11, be a resource. How can you continue to add value? So once you've met them, what are some things you can give them? What kind of value can you share with them so you can continue to build on that trust? That's a major key here, especially for those of you that know CPAs. When was the last time you talked to them and what did you give them? What did you say the last time? What information did you give them that helped them the last communication you had? Think about these things. All right, that's key number 11. All right, now, before I get into this final key, I want to just set the stage really quick. So remember I told you that I'm going to show you a really cool video? All right, so now we're at the time, right? So, and we're good on time too. Now we're at the time. So my high school football team, we're in the playoffs. And this is the fourth quarter. If we lose the game, right? If we lose this game, our season's over. If we win, we go into the championship. All right, really simple. It's fourth down, and there's about a minute to go, and the crowd is just like everyone's deflated. Like the crowd even starts to leave the stands. So imagine it for those of you athletes that have played sports, you turn around and seeing the people that are cheering for you, like they're leaving the stands. So I want you to imagine that, right? Because it's been a tough game. Our team is down by one. I want you to watch this video real quick. So yeah, that was me, by the way, if they're asking. So a dream come true for a 17-year-old, but we went on to win that game. There's about 50 seconds left now, and we went on to win the championship that year. But here's the key that I want to really drive home: your words matter. Prior to, on that fourth down, right? I wasn't playing defense. I'm on the sideline and looked back, and I got so upset that I saw the the financial, the stands, the people, the people watching the stand in the stands. They were leaving, so I got upset. I told two of my teammates on the side. I said, if I get in, I am going to run this punt back. I said that to two people. They'll tell you that to this day. And literally, had no idea that within 2 minutes from saying that, my whole life would change. And so was the changing of our team and even the history of the town for that matter. But nonetheless, when you say things like it's so difficult to meet CPAs, or it's so difficult to, oh, attorneys never refer business. Oh, it's so hard to get a referral from these lawyers. You're cementing that in your experience. So I encourage you to just change your dialect, change the things that you say. All right. This is perhaps one of the most important keys here. All right. So what we covered today, I gave you some of the 12 keys, and in that process, I talked to you about some of the false beliefs that exist there. Now I want to show you how to implement. In fact, hopefully it's okay if I just take a few minutes to show you kind of how we can implement, because these are great ideas, but implementation is really where it's at. All right. I want to introduce you to our COI Mastery Group. This is a membership that we created for financial advice professionals all over the US, Canada, where it has all of our resources, all of our scripts, all of our downloads, all of our courses, basically everything that you need to go from, let's say, 0 to 10 or more referrals a year. All right. But the key here is implementation. So we don't want to just give you a bunch of knowledge, right? Like college, and just throw a bunch of books at you. We want to help you implement. That is the key. All right. In fact, we just had a financial advisor that we trained in Pennsylvania. Literally, just was reluctant. Just met with a CPA, and the CPA ended up giving him not a referral, but $3 million of his own money. I literally just got that call yesterday. I think some of y'all may have seen that in the emails, but that's implementation. He was kind of reluctant, but we're going to help you implement. And that was the first step he took. That was $3 million of new assets. All right. So here's what you're going to get in the membership. First, you're going to get the COI referral training course. Now, this is our flagship course. It's valued at $400. This is where we interviewed the CPAs, the attorneys, the other RAs that get referrals a lot. This is the course that really started our company. But the main thing here is that you're going to get the perspective and start to hear what CPAs are saying. You will not get this perspective anywhere else, right? Except in that course, right? And that alone is $400. Then we have our builder course, right? And our builder course, this actually is a live kind of group session that we recorded. Is, you know, had role plays that shows us how to create a value proposition, how to say it, and then also how do we prepare clients and how do we set up a meeting with CPAs. Many of you on the call have seen kind of like some of our content, but this is where you can just simply watch it in action. This is kind of like practice mode, and you can kind of just sit back with some popcorn and watch other people as they were kind of maybe nervous, but nonetheless, you know, you can learn from that role play session. Then our success program. Now this is our full training, the ones that we do for Merrill Lynch's, New York Life's. When we do 30, 40 people at a time, this is 6 hours of training where we really just deep dive into all of our content, role plays plus foundation. That's basically everything right there in the success program. And then our course, our Success Path course. And this is just simply the process. This is new because you all were asking us for what can we do that I want to just I need the process. What is the process to go from 1, 2, 3? Give me the steps, right? The cookie cutter approach. Some of y'all have said that's what the success path is. All right, that's a $297 value. So you get the referral training, the builder course, the success program, plus our process course. Then to implement, we do monthly group coaching. And when we do group coaching, this is typically a $12,000 a year program. But this is where we practice the implementation. Again, a key word here is practice. So not just sitting there learning on your computer, but actually getting involved and let's get in the game and let's practice this thing. All my athletes, you know what I'm saying, right? And then you're also going to get our 30 minutes of private coaching. And this is a new bonus that I said, because for those of you that are really serious, I want to help you all get started. Like put all this information together and get you on the right track and keep it very simple. So you're going to get the COI referral training course, the builder course, the success program, our success path, which is our process course, monthly coaching with other advisors, plus we'll do some one-on-one coaching to get you started on the right path. Total value is $13,000 if you were to add all that up. Now, I'm not going to charge you $13,000, and I'm not going to charge you 50% of that, right? $6,500 or whatever it is, right? In fact, I'm not even going to charge you 10% of that, which I think some of you all may have thought that that's kind of what we're going to be promoting here. We're basically offering this membership for $297, right? Per year. And it can be canceled at any point, but I would say stay with it until you get the results. But a $13,000 value for $297. Okay. You're going to get all of our courses plus monthly coaching plus group coaching for that value. All right. So here's what I'd like you to do, right? And I think we're going to go ahead and put this in the chat if it's not there already. Just simply go to cljadvisory.com, click on the COI Mastery Group. And in fact, some of you, I think, are members on this call today. We're actually going to be doing our training session tomorrow with the members, right? So that typically happens Monday. So tomorrow. But I have good news and I've got news. So the good news is it only costs you $200 to do this, right? The bad news, or the news, is that it closes tomorrow. All right. So I wanted just to kind of put that with you. So, but that basically wraps it up for the day. I really want to encourage you all to go out there and develop these relationships. Nelson Mandela once said that things are only impossible until they get done. So you may be thinking that getting a network of 5, 6, 7, 10 referrals or CPA partners that refer you business, maybe you think that's impossible, but it's only impossible until you do it. All right. So with that, look forward to seeing you all on the inside. And if you have any questions, feel free to email me, chris@cljadvisory.com. And I look forward to hearing your success. Let's go make it happen.